Bigfoot in San Andreas. One of the most persistent myths in GTA history began in the forests of San Andreas. Players reported sightings of a tall, shadowy figure moving between trees in areas like Backup Beyond and Shady Creeks. Too large to be human, too fast to be an animal. The story spread fast. People claimed they saw Bigfoot. No official missions referenced it. No characters mentioned it. But the rumors kept growing. At night, with heavy fog and ambient silence, players described hearing footsteps and movement in the distance. Some even claimed to be attacked. Rockstar denied everything. A developer once said, "There is no Bigfoot in San Andreas." But that only fueled the speculation. The community began hunting. They searched the forests with sniper scopes, night vision, and even mods. Anything to prove it was real. Dozens of blurry screenshots and shaky videos flooded forums, but none were confirmed. And still, players refused to let it go. Years later, Rockstar included an actual Bigfoot encounter in GTA 5, clearly referencing the myth. But in San Andreas, it was never confirmed. There was no model, no file, no proof, and that's what made it powerful. It wasn't something you could fight or find, it was something you felt. A legend born from fog, fear, and imagination. Ghost of Mount Gordo. In GTA 5, one of the most unsettling discoveries isn't tied to violence or chaos, it's tied to silence. On the cliffs of Mount Gordo, players found something that didn't fit the usual tone of the game. A ghost. She appears at exactly 11 p.m., hovering over a rock near the edge of the mountain. She doesn't move, she doesn't speak, but beneath her feet is a single word written in blood: Jock. The woman is Jolene Cranley Evans, and the name written beneath her belongs to her husband, Jock Cranley, a celebrity and political figure in the GTA universe. According to the game's hidden lore, Jock pushed her off that cliff years earlier to pursue his own ambitions, leaving Jolene behind. Rockstar never turned this into a full mission. It's not part of the main story, but the ghost is there. If you get too close, she disappears. But from a distance, especially through a sniper scope, she's clearly visible. Some players have reported hearing screams just before she appears. Others describe a sudden drop in ambient noise, making the moment feel colder than the rest of the map. This isn't just a myth. The ghost is coded into the game and tied directly to an in-game murder. And unlike most myths, this one can be found by anyone who knows when and where to look. It's not designed to scare you with a jump. It lingers, it unsettles, it turns a quiet mountain trail into one of the creepiest places in the game. And while Jock Cranley continued on to fame and television, Jolene remained there, frozen in time, replaying the moment of her death over and over. In GTA, most ghost stories are fiction, but this one is real. Leatherface. There are many ways to die in San Andreas, but none as disturbing as this one. Just days after the game's release, rumors began to spread. Deep in the forest, near El Castillo del Diablo, or the Panopticon, there was something more than just trees. It wasn't an animal, it wasn't a bug. It was a large figure wearing a stained apron, a mask made of human skin, and holding a chainsaw. Some called him the Forest Killer. Others gave him a name they already knew from movies: Leatherface. There was no mission, no map marker, but many players swore they saw him. He was said to appear only at night, in specific locations, and if you stayed still too long, you'd hear the chainsaw before you ever saw him running toward you. Some even claimed that if you went to the Panopticon at exactly midnight, he would spawn alone. Rockstar said nothing. The only hint came from the official location description. We're sure something happens here, we just don't know what. And that was enough. It became one of the strongest myths in San Andreas. Players uploaded videos, screenshots, and endless theories. Some were mods, yes, but others were harder to explain. Like the rusty wheelchair sitting on a dock with no context, or the abandoned cabins no one uses but somehow still have lights on at night. The truth is, Leatherface was never actually in the game. No model, no code, no direct reference, but that didn't stop thousands of players from feeling his presence. Because when you walk alone through the woods in San Andreas with heavy fog and no background music, the fear gets in anyway. Even if you know there's no one there, you still look back. Because in this game, sometimes the myth feels more real than any enemy on screen. Mount Chiliad Mystery. At the summit of Mount Chiliad, there's no objective, no cutscene, and no boss waiting. Just a strange mural painted on the wall of the cable car station, a triangle resembling the mountain, a UFO, a jetpack, an egg, and at the bottom, a single line of text. Come back when your story is complete. That small detail sparked one of the biggest mysteries in the game's history. Players started connecting dots, literally. They compared the mural to markings found around the map known as glyphs. Some only appeared at night, others were drawn near unusual locations. Theories spread fast. Some believed the egg symbol meant alien life. Others thought it hinted at secret bunkers or time travel. But one theory stood out, that a UFO would appear over the mountain after reaching 100% game completion, and it was true. If you finish everything and return to the summit during a thunderstorm at 3 a.m., a flying saucer silently hovers in the sky. It doesn't move, it doesn't attack, it just sits there, watching. For many players, players, it was the moment everything changed. The mural wasn't just a weird design, it meant something. Or at least that's what everyone thought. The community kept searching for more, especially the jetpack, which became the ultimate goal. People glitched through walls, data mined files, and theorized for years. But the jetpack was never found. Eventually, a former Rockstar developer confirmed it. The mural was never meant to lead to a final reward. It was meant to create mystery, to make the world feel deeper than it really was. And it worked. Even today, players still visit Mount Chiliad hoping for answers, because sometimes the mystery itself is what keeps the game alive. And in a world full of explosions and chaos, this quiet piece of the map became something different, something bigger. Proof that even in GTA, curiosity can be more powerful than any weapon. Underwater screams. Some of the most unsettling moments happen far from land, deep beneath the ocean's surface. Off the northern and western coasts of the map, players have reported hearing strange underwater sounds while diving, faint echoes, metallic creaks, and distant noises that seem out of place. These sounds don't match the usual ambience of waves or marine life. One area in particular stands out, a deep trench off the west coast that some players have nicknamed the Abyss. It's one of the darkest parts of the ocean, where even submarine lights barely reach, and it's here where players have described hearing the most eerie noises, subtle rumbles, low tones, and rhythmic knocking. But despite the speculation, none of these sounds are supernatural. They come from ambient ocean effects coded into the game, mostly whale and dolphin calls, distorted by the depth and acoustic. There's also a mysterious hatch hidden on the ocean floor that emits a steady knocking sound when approached. It doesn't serve any gameplay function and has no direct explanation, but many believe it's a reference to the TV show Lost. Rockstar never clarified its purpose, and that ambiguity only added to the unease. For many players, the ocean feels hostile, not because of what they can see, but because of what they think they hear. It's not fear delivered through jump scares. It builds slowly, pressing in with depth and silence. Most players explore it only once, because the deeper you go, the more it feels like you've gone too far. The ocean in GTA is massive, cold, quiet, and even without ghosts or monsters, it reminds you you're not supposed to be down there. Crying baby in the abandoned motel. In Sandy Shores, there's an old collapsed motel that most players overlook. The roof is caved in, windows shattered, and the walls are tagged with graffiti. It's just another broken down building in a broken down town. But at night, the atmosphere changes. Some players have reported hearing strange noises inside, soft, distant sounds that they think resemble a baby crying. But there's no mission tied to the location, no collectible to unlock, and no actual audio file of a baby in the game's code. Players who've searched every room find nothing, no crib, no source, no characters nearby. In many cases, the sounds come from ambient effects or nearby wildlife, like wild boars, which can sometimes be heard roaming inside the motel. Rockstar never addressed it. No in-game clue, no backstory, no developer commentary, just eerie audio that, while explainable, still manages to feel deeply unsettling. What makes it creepy isn't a sudden scare, it's the stillness, the silence between each noise, the feeling that something might have happened here long before the player arrived. Whether it's a misunderstanding or not, the old motel has become one of the game's most quietly disturbing locations, because in GTA, chaos usually comes loud and fast, but here, it's quiet, still, and that's exactly what makes it feel real.